In the previous video, we've had a look at the experimental setup of Rutherford's gold foil experiment. So here we have the source, and here we have the very thin gold foil, and outside surrounding the whole setup is the screen, that is, so it's a zinc sulfide screen. You don't need to get into that, but what this screen does is, whenever an alpha particle strikes the screen, it'll make a spark. So what do we expect from such a result, from such an experiment? What are the results that we expect? So obviously, because this gold foil is very thin, it is just a few thousand atoms. It is just 1,000 atoms thick. So what Rutherford was expecting based on the Thomson's plum pudding model. So let me just draw another diagram here to show you the expectations. So what he was expecting was that, so let me just draw the gold foil based on the Thomson's model. Just clear this off. So based on the Thomson's model, so according to Thomson's model, these are the atoms. Let's say they are the gold atoms present in the gold foil, and inside these atoms there were supposed to be these small negatively charged electrons in all of them, and they're spread evenly, just like this. And yeah, one more thing, they had found experimentally that the mass of these electrons was very less and almost negligible as compared to the mass of an alpha particle. So an alpha particle that was being shot at this gold foil, so imagine this is a gold foil and this is an alpha particle being shot at this, so the mass of the alpha particle is much more than the mass of these electrons, and the mass of the electron, of a single electron, is negligible as compared to the alpha particle. So now if an alpha particle is shot at this, obviously these electrons cannot stop the alpha particles. So obviously the alpha particles simply hit these electrons and pass through this gold foil, and if it hits the electron will not be able to stop. Now the remaining mass of the gold atom is obviously given by the positively charged soup that is around these negatively charged electrons, but the soup is spread over the whole atom, right? That is what the Thomson model tells us. It is spread over this whole atom, and so the whole mass of the atom is spread over. And so the calculations that Rutherford made, so the mass of an alpha particle is very high, and such a spread out mass that is spread out just like this, it is spread out all over the atom. So such mass cannot stop a heavy particle, which is an alpha particle. So actually Rutherford actually compared this whole situation to a bullet being shot at a tissue paper. So he compared the alpha particle to a bullet, and he compared this gold foil to a tissue paper. So obviously, what would you expect when you shoot a bullet at a tissue paper? Obviously the bullet will simply go through the tissue paper, right? The tissue paper has no chance of stopping or even deflecting the bullet. So similarly here, because the mass of gold atom is spread all around this whole atom, so Rutherford just imagined that, expected that obviously the alpha particle would always simply shoot straight through. So I hope you're getting the basic idea. So because the mass is spread over the whole atom, and an alpha particle is much more smaller than the size of this atom, so he knew that because the size of an alpha particle is much smaller and yet the mass is large, so it's like a densely packed ball, and so that densely packed ball would obviously go straight through such a thing, which is such an atom whose mass is spread all over the whole atom. So yeah, so that is the basic idea that Rutherford had, and so he was guessing that he should, so basically he was expecting that, so if this is the gold foil, here these are the supports, this is the gold foil, and this is the source. So if these are the alpha particles, he expected them, all of them, to simply pass straight through without being deflected, and he was expecting that he should get only sparks at this exact point. He should get no sparks at any other place, but he should get the sparks only and only at this point, because all the alpha particles would obviously shoot straight through the gold foil and without even being deflected. So those are the expectations. Now in the next video, let us look at the actual results of the gold foil experiment and why they were so surprising for Rutherford.